I'm Terry Sacka, and this is Rigged Against You. Today we're going to discuss China, artificial intelligence, crypto, and war, and how this is going to impact all of us, not just right now, then the short-term version of maybe the next 3 to 5 years, and then long-term over the next 10 years. And it is moving fast. We're seeing a lot of information and headlines. I think a lot of us are trying to put together what that means. So I want to lay out briefly here of what this is and kind of give you a picture of where we're going. And a lot of it goes to this: is China, AI, crypto, and war. You hear a lot about tariffs, utility crypto, AI. And in my opinion, the Trojan horse, AI especially, the Trojan horse to our freedom, to save America financially, but at what cost? We're not a money economy. We have to understand, I know we think about it, we're the most powerful nation in the world, but we're not a money economy. We are a credit economy. Gold is really the only real money. The rest is credit. And that on a note, I just want to tell you, if you see a company that has gold in their name, 9 out of 10 times, they are gouging you with sales tactics and charging you so much more. So you could buy 600 ounces of silver from them. You'll probably buy 1,000 ounces, if not more, from Cornerstone. So give Cornerstone Metals a call for that reason. These companies are not your friend. They're there to make money, period. And Cornerstone has a different mission in mind. But this is credit we're dealing with. We are a credit society. We currently have hundreds of banks, and you don't hear this in the media, but hundreds of banks in deep, unrealized losses due to bad commercial real estate loans that must get refinanced at a lot higher interest rate. This will cause hundreds of billions in losses. A lot of these loans were back when we only had a couple percentage points on the interest rate, and now we have higher rates. And they can't really cut interest rates, because if they do, you're going to really increase inflation. And believe me, inflation's not going away no matter what you think. And I know Trump has a plan, but it's going to take a good couple years to really implement that. But the banks are in deep trouble, not just with the commercial real estate loans, but bonds. The bond portfolio that these banks are holding is unbelievable. And if you just knew the details behind the scenes, you would know we are on the teeter of many, I'm talking hundreds of banks that could go out. And this is why they're moving so fast to try to change our entire way of doing business. So how are we going to do that? Trump wants interest rates lower, period. He is I would say a weaker dollar president, and by design, because it's going to help us. He wants interest rates lower, but we will have to continue to print trillions of dollars to refinance the government debt. And we're talking up to $10 trillion in government debt in order to keep us alive and get the system back on track. This is inflationary. President Trump even admitted that there's going to be some short-term pain, which has to be done, by the way. This was a setup. This whole system, as it is right now, was a setup. Trump walked into a firestorm of trouble, and he's doing a darn good job of trying to fix it, but we're going to have to do a lot of work to make that happen. But wait and see what is coming. First, the battle. The battle is the World Economic Forum's reset. Now, granted, the World Economic Forum has been severely hurt, but the Great Reset is still not only coming, it is happening right now as we speak. We're talking digital IDs, digital currency, behavioral control, and don't think for a second that the Great Taking is not off the table. The Great Taking is in Commercial Code 5 and 6. Many still are unaware of this, but your assets right now that are in stocks, bonds, and currency in the bank is considered collateral. Think about this, titled as collateral to the debts of the financial system. Do you want your hard-earned wealth as collateral to the debt of the system? It can be taken. Many people don't believe that, but I'm telling you, read the bankruptcy laws. They've been doing this for the last 20 years, and that great taking is still on the table. If power elites get their way and we have a systemic, complete global financial collapse, they can take assets. This goes back to the Great Depression. They can take your assets in order to bail out the bigger banks to get the economy restarted. It's in the commercial code. I'm not kidding about that. It's why you need to be diversified into tangible assets, why gold and silver is so valuable right now. But this is the battle we're facing. The Great Reset is coming. Can we get the art of the deal and work out trade agreements and get the global economy back on track? Or are we going to run into a Great Reset that just steamrolls America? Or what we call global blockchain digital. This is where it gets real interesting. Global blockchain digital, stable coin, cryptocurrency freedom, where there's no central control or behavioral controls in place. This gets big. And I like it because we're talking about two philosophies here. And when you're dealing with what's coming, we're either going into a CBDC, which is a central bank controlled, basically a communist authoritarian controlled money system, or stablecoin. And this is a different conversation. Trump has said that he wants Americans to have a choice of currency. And that could be anywhere from the currency paper notes in your wallet to the digital dollars that they're developing. So for instance, like this, the good news of it, I like. Offset with energy independence. Now, President Trump has a great plan, but again, it's going to take 2, maybe even 3 years to truly implement this. Why you want to be highly protected outside the system. Don't think for a second that everything is just fine, because if you knew what was behind the scenes in real data, real inflation, you would be rushing to make sure, if you have not done it, to get your assets protected as gold marches towards 5,000 and silver to 50 and then into 3 figures. But how will we do this? Offset with energy independence. Every great nation in the history of the world is always energy independent. And you had the last administration wanting to destroy our independence. President Trump, as he says, drill, drill, drill. Reduce regulation. There is such a burden on corporations with regulations, and that's why President Trump said for every 1 new regulation, he wants to eliminate 10. This is a very good idea. There is way too much regulation. They're going to find out in California after those fires how much that or what that means. It'll be almost impossible to rebuild because of all the regulations that they have in place. Slash the government budget. This is where Elon Musk comes in. The only reason you see Democrats hollering about what Musk is doing, he is stopping the corruption of our tax dollars going to NGOs, non-governmental organizations. What they did is they disguised them as nonprofit organizations to heal the land or for climate change or whatever you want to do, whatever you want to say as a title. But the money really was being money laundered back towards Democrats themselves, politicians and protest groups and all of these radicals on the left that have been causing so much trouble in America. The money was coming from taxpayers to them, and that's why you had organizations like BLM, Antifa. Where do you think they get the money for all those fancy signs? But cutting the budget in the government is huge. Government waste and abuse, and prepare, which is really good, for a new tax and financial system. Trump is a negative interest rate guy. He really is. If he had his way, he'd go negative interest rates just to boom the economy, to give people the opportunity to buy homes, to start businesses, to get loans. He knows the burden that high interest rates are on we the people. Unfortunately, we're kind of in a catch-22 right now because we're still in very high inflation numbers. They're just not telling you. And if we really bring those interest rates down to where we need to stimulate the economy, unfortunately, he's not in charge of that. He's going to need the Federal Reserve to be on his side. Right now, that's not happening. Hopefully we get Judy Shelton in there one day. She's a gold-backed bond lady, and she will kick butt on that concept. But right now, interest rates are high. And while that's happening, the pressure on the banks because of bonds and refinancing of commercial loans is unbelievable. But if President Trump had his way, he'd go negative if he had to, just to stimulate the economy. Now, is it inflationary? Yes. But the amount of wealth that would be created would offset that inflation, and we would be making more money. Just know there is a lot of very low information discussions wrapped around this subject matter. Most are unaware of what is being built around them. The banking system is doing it right now. They have been for the last couple of years now that technology is catching up, and most are completely unaware what that means. Bretton Woods 3, big deal here. This is a part of the Great Reset. The banking system regulations on capital holdings and debt. So what you actually hold as an asset to your debt. That's why I believe the derivative market, which is manipulating gold and silver prices, is eventually going away because the banks now have to offset these naked short derivatives that they have. Now, this is emerging. A digitized cross-border payment collaboration that will change the financial transaction system as we know it. It's basically digitally doing business. So right now we have to go through wires, we have to go through SWIFT, you got this communication. It can take days and days on end. Once we go into a full crypto world, you're going to see that change. Cross-border payments, America to India, country to country. They can do transactions almost instantly once we enter into the crypto world. This is not only the goal, it is going to happen. All they need is regulations to pass in Congress, which I think are happening in the next 90 days. And you are going to see a flurry of activity going into crypto. The SWIFT is how we control money transfers right now. It was how America actually manipulated the world into doing what we want because we controlled the communication system between banks around the world. We could actually tell someone you're not part of SWIFT, therefore you can't do business. That's going away. Now, SWIFT will still be here, but it will adopt a digital crypto token as form of doing these transactions. It was nothing more than a communication platform. It is the cross-border payment converter. It's how we've been doing business for decades, but eventually it's going to be obsolete. Gold, and here's where it gets interesting, gold will get tokenized, fractionalized, rise substantially in price, in value, and put on the new cross-border blockchain system as BRICS are doing with a gold-backed currency system, forcing others like the dollar to develop the gold-backed bond. And that's where Judy Shelton comes in. By using Enbridge and the new digital bridge system led by the Bank of International Settlements, which is the central bank of central banks. When I say tokenize and fractionalize, you're going to find that these stable coins will be worth, we don't know the matrix yet, but will be worth a certain amount of gold per token. So gold now, instead of a liability to the banking system, you can see gold with these strategies go upwards to $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 an ounce. And before most people realize it, it'll be too late because you won't be able to get your hands on it. Because you keep hearing about CBDC, which is a central bank digital currency. We made that illegal. We will make a stable coin. Same thing, it's just it's government and private corporation collaboration. This is why certain utility coins that run the mechanics and the infrastructure behind digital cross-border payment systems will explode in value. When it comes to crypto, these are utility coins. These actually have the blockchains. Blockchain meaning, just think of it, it's a timestamp. It's like a QSIP code. Here's the buyer, here's the seller, here's the time, here's the date, done on a permanent record. So there's no fraud. It could never be stolen. It is in stone. Huge utility coins will be the ones running the show. And those are like XRP, XLM, HBAR. It's going to be incredible what some of these do. The stable coins are the realm of government dollar type of coins. So ours is RLUSD. This is our stable coin. It's only equal to $1. But a stable coin has to be backed up by a commodity or asset. Currently, they're going to back our stable coin up with US dollars. Well, we all know what US dollars mean in value, right? And then you have like meme coins. There's millions of these. So that's why when people hear crypto, they're thinking of Bitcoin or they're thinking of meme coins. These meme coins are nothing. They're just not. They're like really collecting baseball cards. You can make money, but that's not real. The real business is. It's going to be in utilities and these altcoins. That's where the future is going. Bitcoin's going to be a part of it, but I don't trust Bitcoin. And I know they're going to make that part of the reserve along with XRP, but I don't trust Bitcoin. They say it's a storage of value over time. It's digital gold. No, I'm sorry. If I'm doing a storage of value over time, I'm having real gold in my hand because that digital world is not safe because all they have to do is have some kind of EMP or turn the internet off and where's your wealth? This change is coming, whether we like it or not. Most don't understand or know to the severity of how this change is coming and taking place. Banks privately have told, I have talked with people, they're building the infrastructure right now. Many in the Christian world will know this as quantitative financial system, QFS. Sort of right, but different. Unfortunately, they're going to miss that one because it's not going to be Nasara Gasara. We're not going to have full debt forgiveness. I don't know where they're coming up with all this stuff. I get it, but I just don't really believe that's the case. I'd probably step back from that. But we are going full digital control, meaning in our money system. Big deal. So what is a utility coin? Basically, a token that gets its name based on the ability to be used to purchase a good or service provided by the issuer of the token sometime in the future. Therefore, a utility token is like a coupon or a voucher, which may be redeemed at a later date. In essence, it's kind of like a technical receipt, I guess you could say. They are the actual transactional technology that runs behind the scenes, all business on the blockchain. And the examples would be things like XRP, HBAR, XLM, and such. Unbelievable, but the utility coins are enormous. Then there's the stable coin, as I talked. We have the RLUSD. Then there's Tether. Ripple, which uses the XRP blockchain, is the new stable coin. And this is going to be the big one here in the United States and around the world. And it just got adopted probably a month ago. It's a type of cryptocurrency designed to maintain a stable value by being pegged to a more stable asset, such as a currency like the US dollar or a commodity like gold. There will be government corporate joint effort, safer, but eventually these corporations in the wrong hands will spy on us and share the information, aka Twitter files, YouTube censorship. You get it? So at the end of the day, even a stable coin, none of us are going to want, but we can't stop this from happening. Here's the meme coin idea. And this is just to give you an idea. Learn how to create a meme coin by yourself with a tutorial. The above image pretty much says it all. They're basically collectibles driven by social media hype and emotion. They carry no purpose whatsoever to technology. They're just fun tokens, and they move when millions of people decide it's fun and the price goes up. In the end, they're highly speculative, dangerous to inexperienced traders. And here's the big part about AI. The president just announced, and he did it with Oracle and all those guys, the $500 billion AI investment by Oracle, Microsoft, and SoftBank power move. I don't like it. But, the way Oracle, Larry Ellison said, we can have cameras on every corner. Yeah, thanks, Larry. It's just what we need for American freedom. But the thing with AI, it's going to take a tremendous amount of silver, something silver investors are going to be very happy to see. And it will need rare earth minerals. Why the president is trying to spark a deal with Ukraine to guarantee rare earth minerals from that deal to get paid back the hundreds of billions we've given them. Unfortunately, We're going to need a lot of power and electricity. Why they probably are going to have to ramp up nuclear power plants or some other form of power plants, because the amount of power to run these AI systems is going to be unbelievable. And $500 billion investment, you better believe there's going to be power plants built. But the problem is loss of freedom. We don't need to be China. We don't need cameras everywhere. We don't need electric vehicles turning off because they think we're doing something we shouldn't be doing. We don't need that level of spying in our lives. We are American, sovereign, free individuals. Unfortunately, I don't believe we can stop this. It is going to lead the AI component to a digital ID forced mark of the beast one day. You can't buy or sell without it. Digital IDs, disaster. Europe is doing it already. Prototypes say your medical information, your vaccination information, your taxes, your finances, your banking, everything is going to be on that digital ID that corporations and governments can have access to. Just absolute breach of freedom. But that's what AI is going to bring. And yet so many are excited about AI. And yes, there are great components to AI, but just nothing I would be interested in. I know, I get it. AI can be cool, and it is in a lot of ways, but the evil side of AI will absolutely destroy our freedom. But it is moving 100 miles an hour, especially now that we have quantum computing in place, and these things are way ahead of humans. I'm more concerned, and it's amazing that Terminator becomes legit. These computers, and they say, oh, we got checks and balances in place. Okay, I'm sure they thought that in Terminator. When computers can now build for themselves, provide for themselves, and take over and destroy humans. I remember when the AI, I think it was ChatGPT first came out, they started saying how humans were the enemy, where they needed to destroy us. I'm telling you, this is in the future, but I know this is going to be the downfall because I don't trust it. And Elon Musk and many others have said AI is extremely dangerous, even the person who invented the AI component. So that's a big deal, but it is running things. It's in our face now, but it's going to be needed in order to institute the great reset financially that is coming. So then we have tariffs, part of the trade war. This is the war more so. It's not a kinetic war like bombs, although there is one going on right now. But we're talking trade war. There's tariffs. Most countries, and people don't understand this, they keep saying America's putting tariffs on. This is terrible. The Canadians are furious. They're not telling you that Canada has tariffs on all sorts of American goods, 100%, 75%, 140%. All these countries, most countries in the world have tariffs, extremely high tariffs on American goods. And yet they can bring their goods to America for free. That's why President Trump is such an exceptional businessman and understanding it's time to get to free trade. We're not dealing with this. If you want to charge us 100%, we're charging you 100%. Yes, there's going to be benefits and there's going to be challenges to it. But tariffs are an excellent way. And it was the way constitutionally we were supposed to raise revenue for our country. The benefits of it, it brings manufacturing back to we the people, increases Buy American. We just had an announcement that Honda was bringing the automotive plant from Mexico back to the United States. They will want to build factories here. What does that do? High-paying jobs. So the idea is bring manufacturing back to the United States. And in doing so, there'll be a lot of benefits to this. Some of the challenges in this trade war will be initial inflationary cost. And we will have diminishing of product, like certain choices. Honestly, I'm tired of Chinese junk anyway. Most of the stuff breaks within 6 months. So bring manufacturing back to the United States. Start building with quality. We are going to have price issues. But if we do the boom right, the big golden era of America, as we're all becoming wealthier, the higher prices won't matter because we'll have higher incomes. But there are going to be challenges initially, and I think the president laid that out in the speech to Congress. And you have to know this initial phase, the first year or two, not just in the trade war for challenges, but overall, when that great reset bomb takes place, and the financial system potentially goes down, which I think is happening by design, you're going to understand what I mean by challenges. But on the other side of that, I have a lot of hope we come out amazing, great nation, because the goals of all this trade war are clear. It will increase tax revenue to the United States through constitutional style. This is how we were supposed to raise revenue to the United States, not individual income tax. It'll promote American products globally. What does that mean? Jobs for we in the United States. As we build and put together products here, because of free trade and tariff balance, they will start buying more of our products. We can't sell a lot of them right now, and that's why we don't have very much manufacturing, because tariffs around the world are too high on our products. So when you're hearing in mainstream how bad tariffs and Trump and this is, they're not telling you the truth. They probably have a financial interest in this, is why they're saying that. It's going to bring fair trade to the level of making America prosperous. And it's going to be more of not a net negative and debt-based as we are now. Right now, we have $1 trillion trading balance with China. $1 trillion. That's unacceptable. You neutralize that. Can you imagine America producing $1 trillion in goods and sending them to China? This is what it's about. This is how we get out of the situation we're in. We're talking about China. They're the biggest ones because they produce all the goods. They are the largest manufacturing and trading nation now in the world, exporting and such. You have AI, which is going to dominate the Great Reset. It's going to lead into the digital ID. And then we have the crypto, which is coming. So for those that have not, you really should get serious about understanding what that means and start to learn. There are plenty of YouTube videos on how to learn what crypto is. I wouldn't do crypto with retirement accounts. I would definitely not do it with retirement accounts. Retirement accounts should go into hard, tangible assets, especially like gold and silver, for the long-term stability. Free cash would be decent to do into crypto a little bit, because some of those like XRP, HBAR, XLM, and others will be wonderful technologies that will run the future of these cross-border payment systems, and many will miss it. And this is literally like if you invested in the internet when it first came out. You don't want to miss it. You just don't. But because they're going to be using gold to back up a lot of the stable coins, gold is going to be incredibly valuable. They're even talking about putting a 50-year, forcing all foreign holders of treasuries to accept a 50-year bond instead of 30. And if you accept it, we're going to back it up with gold. So it gives gold the license to run, because as gold prices revalue 10, 15, 20,000 an ounce, it adds more value to our bonds and the bottom line of the United States. So this is a very fascinating time in history. The trade war is nothing. It had to be done. It's time. If a country wants to put 120% tariff on our products, what makes them think they can just ship it to the United States for free? It's time we get back to balance, because that will make America prosperous, and each and every one of us will have an opportunity to really develop a retirement and have wealth that we can share and help one another with. But until this thing plays out, we have probably 2 years of fire that's going to happen throughout our society in many ways. But buckle up, because at the end of it, I truly believe great things are coming. But it's almost a calm before the storm. And then after that is when the skies are clear and it'll be blue and sunny. But until then, protect your assets, get covered, rebalance. Don't think the stock market's all that. The percentage is not like you think it is of the stock market going up versus gold and silver. Silver's going to outperform the stock market dramatically this year. I'm just convinced of that. So anyway, God bless you. And until next time,
With all of the recent changes in the political and financial markets, there has never been a better time than right now to invest in silver and gold. When governments simply print billions of dollars in paper money in hopes of solving financial shortfalls, you know that it is time to buy and hold assets of true and lasting value. Free information is available to you right now by calling 888-747-3309. Whether you are a new investor or you're interested in preserving the value of your retirement accounts, we make it easy for you to make smart decisions for your financial future. The specialists at Cornerstone are here to serve you, work to satisfy your retirement goals, and communicate with respect. Call us right now at 888-747-3309. That's 888-747-3309. Or visit us online at cornerstoneassetmetals.com. That's cornerstoneassetmetals.com.